Hi, and welcome to Deer Lion Yoga. I'm Becky, and in today's flow, I've designed it to help gently wake your body up. We'll be hitting all parts of the body, and you'll need 2 blocks if you have them. So grab your coffee and let's get started. So to begin practice, we are going to start on our backs this week. So making your way down onto your back on your mat. And there's a couple options here. So you can leave your legs just bent like this. You can find the butterfly position, so bringing the bottoms of your feet together and letting the knees go outward. Or if you have a sensitive back, lower back, you can bring your feet to the outer edges of your mat and then let your knees come together in the middle and touch. And this takes out some of the arch of your back, kind of flattens it out a little bit so it's easier on your back. So taking one of those options, your hands can be on either side, palms up, or you can take one hand to your belly and then the other hand to your heart. And so closing your eyes here, we'll just take a couple of breaths, coming into the practice, coming into the space. Slowing the body down, the breath down, the mind down. Meeting yourself where you are. Good. Just a couple more breaths here. Good. Then opening your eyes. If your knees are to the sides, bringing them together. And then you can bring your knees into your chest, give them the hug. Good. So planting your feet back onto the ground. We'll start with the right leg. So bringing the right foot and ankle over the left knee, so you're making a figure 4. And you'll start to bring your right knee and start to point it towards the front right corner of your mat. So it's opening up here. Starting to open up the hip. So maybe this is enough. So keep pressing that right knee towards that right front corner of your mat. If it's not enough, you can bring your hands around your left thigh and bring your left knee in towards your chest. So all the while still pressing outward with your right knee. And then breathing into this stretch. Good. And then releasing. Bringing both of the bottoms of the feet to the ground, again switching to the other side. So left leg on top of the right, making a figure 4, pressing your left knee towards that left front corner of your mat. And then if this is not enough, wrapping your hands around your right thigh, behind it, and bringing it in towards your chest. So opening up the hips here. Breathing into the stretch. Your head is relaxed on the ground the whole time. Good. And then releasing. So bringing the bottoms of the feet to the ground. Bring your knees in, give them a hug. Rocking side to side. And then to come up to the top of our mat, so start to find a rock. Getting some momentum. And then rolling all the way up to a seat. Coming over onto your hands and knees for tabletop position. So we'll make our way into cat-cow here. So hands aligned under the shoulders, fingers spread wide, knees under the hips. Our spine is neutral to begin. Inhale, dropping the belly, lifting your gaze upward, finding your cow pose. Exhale, rounding the spine, starting with the upper back, rounding to cat, looking towards your belly button. Inhale through to cow. Exhale to cat. Inhale through to cow. And just run through these several more times at your own pace, using the breath to flow. Warming up the spine. And then on your next one, we'll meet in neutral spine for tabletop. Good, so tucking your toes under, lifting your hips so the knees come off the ground. You're lifting the hips up towards the sky, making our way to downward dog. So pedaling out the feet here. Fingers are still spread wide, pressing into the ground. Outer arms are wrapping down. And so you're drawing your belly towards the tops of your thighs. So lifting those hips up towards the sky. If your hamstrings are tight, it may look more like a plank instead of an upside down V. So in that case, you can give a large bend to your knees, and this allows your belly to come to the tops of your thighs more easily. So you really want to go for that upside down V shape. Good. Inhaling the right leg up, opening the hips, gazing out under your right armpit. Then straightening the leg and squaring the hips. So a good way to do this is flex the foot and make sure all of your toes are pointing down. This helps square the hips. Good. Exhale, placing your foot to the ground. So moving to the other side. Inhale, left leg up, opening the hips, bending the knee, looking out under your left armpit. Then straightening the leg, squaring the hips. All 5 toes pointing down. And that'll quickly square your hips. So if you're like this, it will help you square. And then placing the leg down. Good. Slowly walk forward to the front of the mat. And then when you reach the front, just dangle heavy here, swaying side to side. Releasing the elbows if you had grabbed them, and then slowly rising up to standing. Good. So we'll meet in mountain pose. Now, every pose is very active, so you're not just slumping into the pose, but everything is very intentional. So even when we're standing here in mountain pose, your chin is coming in. So if your head is sticking out like this, you're bringing it in so everything's aligned. Crown of the head is towards the ceiling. So you want to tuck your tailbone, so tucking that under so that everything is aligned in the midsection. Bringing the chin slightly in. Feet are planted on the ground, strong foundation, rooted here. Good. So making our way into our flow. So inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, planting your hands, stepping back to plank, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Taking the right leg, stepping it forward, planting it in between your hands, dropping your back knee for a low lunge. So inhaling the arms up. So pressing in with both legs, bringing everything in towards the midline. Again, very active pose. Exhale, bringing your hands down. So walking back into a runner's lunge. So you may need to adjust your legs here a little bit, but you're bringing your right toes up towards the ceiling. Keeping your knee aligned under your hip of your left leg. Good, and then start to pull your right leg back. So pulling it back, feeling a stretch all underneath your right leg, toes pointing towards the ceiling. And if this isn't enough, you can start to fold over your leg. So keeping the spine long, you don't want to just slump over, keeping everything lengthened here. And breathing into this stretch. Good. Coming out of the pose, we're walking into lizard. So bringing your right foot to the outside of the mat, hands on the inside of your right foot. Staying here for a couple breaths, so opening up the hips. You can use blocks if you would like for your hands, or even books if you don't have any blocks. Good. And then tucking your back toes, lifting your knee off the ground. And then you're going to walk your foot back into the center and step back to plank. Holding here for a breath. And then lifting the hips, downward facing dog. Good. So moving to the other side. So bringing the left foot in between the hands, dropping your knee for a low lunge. Inhale, arms up. Bringing both legs in towards the midline. Good. Exhale, hands down. Walking back to our runner's lunge. So shifting and adjusting as needed to make sure that knee is aligned under the hip. Left toes pointing up, hands on either side of the leg. And then if this isn't enough, folding over the leg while keeping the spine long. Good. Walking forward, and then bringing your hands to the inside of your left foot, walking that left foot out to the edge of the mat on the left side. So sinking down, opening the hips here, staying here, or using your blocks for your hands. You can also come to your forearms if that's not enough for you. And then breathing into this stretch. Good. So coming out of the pose, setting the blocks aside, walking your foot back into the middle of your hands, tucking your back toes, lifting the knee, stepping back to a plank, holding here for a breath, feeling strong. Lifting the knees to downward facing dog. Good. Staying here for a full breath. Give your head a shake yes and a shake no. Loosening up the neck. And then dropping down to your knees. We'll come around to take a seat. Good. So just a comfortable cross-leg seat is fine here. And so we'll end with a couple twists and then a little bit of breathing together. So inhaling the arms up. Exhale, twisting to the left. Right hand to your left knee, your left hand behind you. You're looking over your left shoulder. Good. Untwisting all the way. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, twist to the other side. Left hand to right knee, right hand behind you, looking over the right shoulder. Untwisting all the way. Great. So I hope that helped you wake up a little bit this morning, come into your body. Let's end with 3 rounds of breath together. So inhaling the arms up. Exhaling, bringing the hands down to heart center. Inhale, arms up. Exhaling, the hands down to heart center. Inhaling the arms up. Exhaling the hands down to the heart center. May the light in me honor the light in you. Until next time, namaste.